Hi, welcome to Real Americano Woodshop, where all your woodshop fantasies come true. Today we're going to be reviewing over the bandsaw. The bandsaw, it's not trying to really trick you at all. It's a saw made out of a giant band, as you can see. Now, before making any cuts, always make sure you have safety glasses. Safety glasses are key to safety. The second most important safety feature of the bandsaw is the blade guard. When you're cutting a piece of wood, always make sure that the blade guard is just a little bit above the piece of wood that you're cutting, but make sure that your piece of wood is still visible, like so. Now, the bandsaw is one of the few tools in woodshop that you can make freehand cuts. And not only can it make freehand cuts, it can make rip cuts, cross cuts, and curved cuts. I'm going to be demonstrating a rip cut right now with the fence. The only reason I'm using a fence right now is that it makes just a little bit more accurate of a rip cut on the bandsaw. Never stand to the right side of the bandsaw, because if something goes wrong with the band, it might hit you. Now, because it's always going to go to the right. Now, I'm going to be doing a cross cut. And with the cross cut, you just do a freehand. Always make sure your hands are 6 inches away from the blade. Now, for curved cuts that you can make on this, always make sure that the piece of wood that you're cutting is going forward, because if it turns at all while it's making the cut in the blade, it might snap the blade. Always stay a little bit in front of the line you're cutting, because you can always go back, but once you go over that line, you mess up the piece. Now, my piece I cut wasn't completely accurate, so you can always finish it up on another tool, like the sander. The sander will sand it down so that you can get to exactly where you want it to cut. Now, for curved cuts that are very sharp, like so, like that, you're going to want to use a technique called relief cuts. Relief cuts are little lines in the piece of wood that you're cutting so that it relieves the stress from the blade so that it doesn't break on you. Always cut down to the line and not over it. Now, if I were to cut this without relief cuts, it would have too much strain on the blade, and the blade would snap. Now, I have another sharp curve right here, so I'm going to make some more relief cuts. Go through each section of the relief cut slowly so that you don't mess up. And then after you do the relief cuts, just finish off your piece you're cutting. And you can always finish off your piece with the sander, like I said earlier. Now, the most important rule on the bandsaw is a safety feature. After you turn off the saw, as you can see, the saw blade's still spinning. My piece of wood right here, even though the saw blade's off, I can still make cuts. Like that. That can cut fingers off easily. There's a break right here on the bottom of the saw. Before you walk away from the blade, Always make sure that you step on the brake to make sure that the blade is completely stopped before you walk away. And that is all you need to know about the bandsaw.